Okay, everyone. Italy versus Spain. Welcome back to the Nexus contest. So we already saw our first series a bit earlier. Another best of three between France and Finland. Not going to spoil the results for everyone who hasn't watched it yet. But now we're looking at Italy versus Spain in our second best of three of the day. Now, of course, there was another series that was supposed to be played between Portugal and Russia. But turns out that Portugal had to forfeit because apparently they were a player short. Bit unfortunate, and I expect we don't see too many forfeits, especially as the tournament progresses, but at the beginning of a tournament in the early rounds, that definitely can happen. So we're still looking at the group stage here. Maiev and Genji were banned out in our previous series quite consistently, and now in this game also, Italy starting up with a ban on Maiev right away. And again, like if you compare that to all the Division 7 games that we casted from Heroes launch, of course now we are going more to the upper echelon of the meta. At the same time, there are no former HGC players in these teams, so the tournament is held pretty much in the same spirit that we've seen from Nexus Games last year, which was officially hosted by Blizzard, which this isn't, where the idea was to bring new and up-and-coming players to the surface and just simply give them a platform to really show their own skills. The teams are allowed to have a former HGC player as a coach though. France, for example, is being coached by Mene, and you have other teams like Germany, which is I think coached by Hazops, so that's kind of important there too. So just so you guys are not getting too confused by all of this. But as we're heading into here, most of those players still are Grandmaster or at least Masters, what we are mostly going to see. Garrosh banned out. The Genji ban that I talked about earlier is also reflected in this particular draft. And it doesn't really come as a surprise. And Diablo as well. Heavy focus, again, on the front line. Banning the two tanks out. It's actually pretty common to see that too. But now for Infernal, first pick is going to be interesting. We had a very high priority for France going into an early Tyrande, and now we see exactly the same thing mirrored here too. And if you're actually watching a lot of the videos on YouTube with the Division 7, this is a really, really good example of a hero that doesn't see a lot of play the lower you go in the rankings, but the higher you go gains a lot of value. Tyrande is absolutely fantastic for kill compositions, if you're trying to get quick kills in here, stun combos in general, getting a CC chain going, and then trying to put burst damage onto that. And that's one of the reasons why we actually have the pick on Jaina immediately, because you try and take it away from the Tyrande composition so that there's not as much burst damage. Li Ming can be played on Infernal Shrines, but she loses some of the value that she oftentimes has, because when you're fighting on the shrine itself, there's a lot of minions that can tank these shots. So it's not as easy to set a combo up for a mage. Still have Orphea around on the other hand, and she fits the bill. So instead of Jaina, we're now going to see her in that setup. Reyna as well for sustainable auto attack damage, still very, very high in the meta here. And Anubarak is going to be interesting, because Anubarak is one of the heroes that I personally really like if a team is aggressive, but at the same time, you have to be very, very careful, because if you miss your stun, or if you don't have anyone else to help you out at the front, then you are an easy kill for your opponent. So oftentimes we see, at least in Korean meta, we've seen Anubarak with Urel for the extra armor. You have Anubarak with potentially a blaze, but you want to have something that can help him to survive a little bit, or you are very, very one-dimensional in the way that you can play with him. Like tunneling into your opponent with a quick charge is really, really tricky if you don't have anything else to survive there. So you need a good support behind it with a panic button if you're trying to pull that off somehow. Stitches banned out, and so the Stitches Tyrande combo not working out. Denied. Zeratul also banned, just so that you have no setup with Void Prison into Ring of Frost, which is a fantastic combo still to be used here. And I'm a little bit curious to see what they're going to get for the offlane now. I mean, they have first pick. Stukov, I like that. Again, tunnel in, get the stun with the Anubarak, bring the silence in, and then immediately drop Jaina, and there we have it. Blaze as the follow-up, so that can help you a lot. Anubarak can go in together with Blaze with the jet propulsion, and then if the shit hits the fan and Anubarak is in trouble, bam, you drop the bunker, and then immediately you have another tool that helps you to survive. So that's actually a pretty sweet combo for them. Still a little bit squishier than others, like frontliners that you could get, but still pretty cool there too. Sustainable damage is something that they would need though. ETC power slide into Tyrande stun. ETC suffers a bit from the same problem as Anubarak. He's very strong, can be, but he's a little bit low on HP, and that can be abused. And a very uneven. So taunt into Tyrande stun, into Orphea damage. That could actually be sick. But what's the damage going to be? Are we going to see something along the lines of I mean, we could see Phoenix. I don't think we're going to see a double mage for them. You want to have a bit of an auto attacker, something with sustainable damage. In the past, Greymane was a fantastic option for you. And I kind of forgot about Hanzo. That was even an early pick for the HTC Europe teams when HTC was still around. So yep, Inferno Shrine is going to be the first map. We're going to jump right in, and we're going to see which team is going to take the lead here. Will Italy or Spain claim the victory on map number 1? Game number 1, starting up, Spain going up against Italy on Infernal Shrines. And to the left we have Spain with Kuronoko on Anubarak. We have Dark on Hanzo, Darkhead on Blaze, Ryudem on Stukov, and Mara on Jaina. To the right side of the map, Cest on Durante, Fury on Reyna, Jojo on Orphea, going straight into the Ancestral Strength, our go-to talent pretty much on the upper echelon for any kind of Orphea player, at least from what we've seen so far. Ragnar with Varian, and Booyah on ETC. So, let's check out how this is going to work out. Hanzo, by the way, speccing into Redemption here, so going for the basic attack build for now. And I'm pretty interested to see how especially the ETC play is going to work out for them, because Masterton's already coming in. ETC again, he can be a huge asset, but he also can be a bit of a liability if you're too aggressive with him and you try to create opportunities all the time, slide in, find yourself in trouble and get taken out. So that's going to be a problem. We have Varian now trying to solo lane it. Of course, Blaze is going to take over that lane very quickly for his team. ETC already trying to slide out, gets stopped and immediately eating a ton of damage, and that's the end of him. Yep, ETC is down. The idea was to just slow down the opponent a little bit, but a perfect interrupt on the power slide with a stun, and that's the first victim of the game. And it underlines pretty much the worry that I had with ETC in the first place. Quest talent on Varian on level 1, by the way, so we're going to see what the level 4 choice is going to be for him, if they're going to try and play around more CC, or if it's the damage output that they're really looking for. They have already Reyna and Orphea in the back, so they can use that. A little bit of a scout with the Owl, sending Hedwig still straight to Hogwarts, and double checking if we're going to have something happening over here, which indeed is the case. Not really a big problem for Stukov Jaina, and the Anubarak is already sitting tight, making sure that there's nothing going on there. Even ETC is anchoring the play towards the right, both of the teams going for the camp. So a little bit of a slower start after the initial kill that we're having here. But the first shrine is already going to give us a bit of an idea. And I like the way that Anubarak was actually played in that small encounter that we had. Good body block from him, really good hit also on the stun. And especially if you go into the Burrow Charge, then you need to make sure that you're also connecting. It's one of the biggest problems that we're seeing on the lower end of the skill scale. Whenever you have an Anubarak darting in and he doesn't hit, then all of a sudden you're surrounded by your opponents that just want to kill you. So that's always an issue. Personally, I'm a big fan of Fight or Flight, and I'm questioning Fury's choice a little bit to go for the Behemoth armor. We have seen some players in the past take that in HTC too. Shrimpy, for example, was one of them, and I talked to him about it, and he even said afterwards he doesn't think he's a good talent for him to take. Great kill at the top here, as Blaze goes down. Good rotation, and Blaze just way too late on the reaction. So, immediately Italy redeeming themselves here for the early death that they suffered at the hands of Spain, able to get that kill in. Good rotation, collapsing on the target, a little bit late, and now here comes the taunt for Varian, so trying to get the taunt set up in for the Lunar Flare on Tyrande. Another good Owl, spotting that right away. ETC comes in, so does Anubarak, goes straight for Jimmy, and tries to create the space for the team to take the camp. They're able to do it. The stuns come out. We're having Italy funnel in, but immediately then retreat here as the first shrine of the game spawns in the middle. And a good move by Ragnar, not going straight into the shrine and instead just letting this one go. So this is experience in the hands of Italy, and Spain is denied another minion wave. Not too bad for them. Here comes the attack now against Varian though, and he just stayed way too long, and all of a sudden he's in trouble. He should fall. He's trying to keep himself alive here, and that's the end of him. Tyrande attempting to get a few heals through. That was the case, but he dies eventually. And now we're having a 5 versus 4 situation in favor of Spain, but the stun set up with ETC sliding through just as Anubarak went topside to try and tap at the fountain. They take advantage of the situation, get the counter kill, And now, of course, taking control of the Shrine for now. But the lead still in the hands of Spain, because they are trying to get another kill here. 4 versus 4 in the middle of the map for the time being. Still ahead in the stacks, getting the damage through slowly and steadily here to try and get at least to 30. But now Varian is back, and you need to be careful. Tyrande throws the stun out, so they can't really taunt, but they still try and do it. The taunt goes through, but without Tyrande having the Lunar Flare ready, there's just no follow-up. And oh my god, the choke point with Jaina getting the damage out. Blaze comes in with the oil spills now, and they're just trying to raise the Punisher, but it's not working out for them. Spain is going to claim the first objective for now. Celestial Attunement on Tyrande as the level 7 talent, trying to get those quick cleanses in, and she will need that. You're playing against an Anubarak and Blaze on top of that Stukov. You definitely going to need something to break the chain CC that could come from them. Big push already through the sidewall here, eliminating some of the structures, trying to see if they can maybe follow up, but not really going for that just yet. Jaina is nearly out of mana. You can't really do a whole lot if your main damage dealer in that setup is having problems getting the damage through. Talking about some of the talents, by the way, we have for Blaze feeding the flame, cooldown reduction plus crossfire. So going into a very, very heavy focus on his damage here. And on the attack, oh, stun missing a little bit. ETC is gonna go for the slide. Stun comes out, but it's a little bit too late. Good burrow charge away. That was an important one for sure. And talking about burrow charge, we have the Subterranean Shield, but we don't have Underking. Bed of Barbs for additional control through the slows, instead taken for Anubarak. So he's shying away slightly, at least, from this. Again, the engage happening as we speak. The camp is already taken, though, but Blaze went in deep. Hanzo is still far in the back. Tries to get some damage out. But so far we don't have the setup for an additional kill. 2 kills against 2 of Fear, as you would expect. Also going into Fright. Very heavy focus on Dread, which is what we really see quite a lot in this case. So the real idea for them really is get a stun combo going. Both teams are playing that game to an extent, and then capitalize on that. The taunt, power slide, and barely does Blaze get away. But you see the name of the game here. Go in, charge, taunt, power slide in, try and get a Tyrande stun on top of it, a Hunter's Mark if you can, and then Ophia is attempting to get the burst damage in. And on the other side, we're seeing a similar idea, just simply with Jaina bursting someone down with a Blizzard. So that's one of the biggest setups that they're trying to use here. And so far, they're doing it well too. Jojo now at the bot lane, clearing that out. A little bit of an attempt to see if maybe someone falls into the trap of face checking too hard. So far we're seeing very little of that happening actually in the Nexus contest. Definitely also speaks well for the skill level of what we're seeing here. It's not quite HCC level, don't get me wrong, but this is definitely already a lot better here. We're looking at 2 of the teams that are not really counting to the favorites in the group. Here comes a pushback. Stun doesn't connect therefore, but ETC is in so much trouble as the silence of Stukov comes in. Here comes the attempt to go for a counter kill, and Mara was a little bit far out on Jaina, so a good move by Varian to try and get that kill, but they couldn't really feel the damage here. The follow-up wasn't there yet. Camp at the top lane is doing a lot of work though, and that is of course fantastic now. No ring setup, again, no Ring of Frost for Jaina. A little bit of a questionable choice here maybe, considering all the stuns that they have, but they get the damage in against Tyrande regardless, and Ophia falls too. Spain, all of a sudden, coming in with the kills. Heavy pressure now at the bottom. Reyna rotated to the top lane to save the fort, but down here there's little that they can do. 2 heroes still dead, ETC busy in the middle. Great map control right now from Spain. Good camps that they set up on the lanes before the push, and then the kills that come in as well. The follow-up that we're seeing from Ruiden on his Stukov in particular, really, really powerful here. Seems like not only Shad can play a good Stukov in Spain. Seems to be a little bit more to it. 5 kills against 2, lead in experience, a lead on the Shrine. But we still have an opportunity for a fight here. And with Mosh Pit, there's a lot of interrupts, no doubt about that. If Booyah gets a good one through, maybe that's the answer. They're sliding in again. They're going for a Anubarak, but the stun of Tyrande is a little bit too late. He's able to burrow charge away. 3-man jet propulsion. And there comes an attempt to go for the clenching jaws, but that was more the cringing jaws because those didn't hit anything. Here comes the mosh pit. Blaze is down, and Anubarak is locked down, and he is dead too. Great setup here from Italy. It's a back and forth battle, to be honest with you. This is just a brawl between the two of them. We're just having a bit of a fist fight between the two teams here, trying to get the kills in, and the Mortar Punisher still goes to the blue team. Italy is not able to claim it, but they're claiming another kill. And that makes this bad boy nearly useless. He should really not do a whole lot. And again, we're having the fort nearly destroyed, so maybe you would be able to take it down, but they have a 4-man defense fielder at the bot lane. At the same time, Varian is taking care of middle. But if the Punisher at any point decides that it's time to really attack the structure, he might be able to drop it down. But that Punisher's a little bit lazy. No German efficiency here. And just says, nah, that's fine. So they get very little out of it. It was good kills. It's Italy really playing well around the kills, and those were important ones. 5 kills versus 5 right now. And what else do we get? Here's the approach for Anubarak again. Tyrande on Anubarak is just a little bit too late. Those unstoppable frames that we're seeing on the burrow charge are serving him well. Cocoon is out, they counter aggression. They're trying to get for the kill here. They have the stuns available. They can go for a fear, but ETC already with a power slide. Follow-up attempt. Stun comes through. The taunt is in. That could be the kill, but the ice block being used. Mara dies regardless. High King's quest completed in the middle of the fight. Bunker on the last moment, but here comes the attempt of Blaze to get away, and it's just absolutely in vain. He goes down. They're looking for a third kill, but the double kill alone is already fantastic. 7 kills against 5. They go for Hanzo. He survives, but Italy is definitely turning up their heat all of a sudden. Game didn't really start too well for them. And I mean, initially they had massive problems when you were looking towards the objective. I mean, honestly, they didn't win an objective yet, right? So they are really starting to come in on the kills. ETC's play is also a lot better at this point in time. Like, he had a bit of an iffy situation at the beginning where he died very early on, but if you're just comparing this right now, he has really good slides. They just need to communicate that Tyranda's done a little bit better. It works really well for a lot of the other heroes. Tyranda's there in time, but if you go for Nubarak, you have to throw it out a little bit quicker than that. Nubarak is doing well keeping himself alive in a lot of these cases, so that's definitely true. The level 13 that we're seeing for Stukov now is of course another thing to be worried about, the virulent reaction. Having that extra lockdown is making the Jaina combo way more scary. Same time, Giddy Up has been chosen on 13 for them. They're trying to wrap around here. Where are they headed? They're heading to the top lane. I was actually thinking they might be trying to get a kill here, but instead it's the top lane push, and it's only Varian who goes top lane. Alright, I thought they were trying to say maybe set something up like a quick gank on someone, but Varian is the only one who deals with the top side. I like, by the way, how Spain is running the macro process of the map. Uh-oh, there's the taunt and the immediate ice block as Jaina tries to get out of harm's way. Not gonna happen. I just don't see her survive this one. Varian goes in again. Ooh, moves back though. Jaina actually gets out. Arrow's been thrown out too, but misses the team, and now Blaze is down. Instead, they focus the target away from Jaina onto Blaze, and they get the kill here. Job well done. Damage output at this point, especially Reyna is doing well with the 24,000. Jaina on 31k. And so far, only Reyna and Hanzo haven't fallen. 5 deaths on Blaze though. Pretty much tells you where the weak spot currently is on the side of Spain. Italy has taken control of the shrine again. They want to win their first Punisher and a big push in the middle as the fort falls. Can they take Varian down here? They're gonna try. There's no silence. Comes out now. A little bit misplaced. And they need to try and get away from this one. Taunt, and oh my god, Stukov! That was a monster shove right there. Kurokone was definitely in a lot of, or Kuroneko was definitely in a lot of trouble there, but the shove made it possible for them to move Anubarak out of harm's way within an instant. The situation is still very similar though to what it was before. Yes, the fort has fallen, that's great on the macro side for Spain, but Italy is now in a situation where they have nearly level 16, and they've taken the lead in the minion count. Bit of a face check moment here by ETC, that could backfire. But he survives for now, slides away. Taunt comes in, they go for Blaze again. Quest completed for Anubarak. The kill against Orphea, the silence and the arrow as well. Down goes Varian. And the rest of the team on the retreat. Spain fighting back. This is seriously like 2 fighters in a cage just going for blow the entire time. 7 kills against 8, 16 on both sides. And Italy just can't win a Punisher to save their life. It's crazy. No matter how these fights go, no matter what happens with the setup, every time an objective spawns, it is Spain that claims it. No siesta for them. These guys are going all in and they're doing well. 16 against 16 right now. We have a fort at the top, completely abandoned, not even dealing with it. They're going to fight for the keep, and that's it. Instead, a camp taken at the bot lane. Wave is already pushing in, so they're going to try and get a bit of damage onto the front line. But now, the real push is happening. And they are trying to go for it. They're moving in. Parry already being used. The stuns come out. Tyranda's connecting with it. ETC has to slide away, but they are going for the keep. They're trying to get it here. 5-man invasion immediately. Stukov zoning them out with a silence. Lurking arm after lurking arm coming through. Another big jump from the Punisher. Hitting two, connecting well. And that's going to be the end of the first keep of their game. The keep is down. They take it and immediately retreat. Spain has now eliminated a fort and a keep in the game. Make that 2 forts. And they haven't really suffered any real structural damage yet. And let's not forget about that fort down here. I mean, that thing is basically down. You just have to send someone in there to claim it. I mean, that could be Blaze, for example. It can be anybody. Inubera can really dive in with the Beetle and try and get that. They're taking more camps as we speak. The fence at the bot lane is already on with Dark X on his Hanzo trying to push it back. Another camp even stolen. Like, the macro play goes to Spain. There is no doubt about that. But it's still the fights that oftentimes end in favor of the red team. Italy is fighting back as much as they can here. And especially the Tyrande follow-up is normally pretty solid. Again, on the Nubrag it has to be faster. But outside of the Nubrag stun, Tyrande is there when needed. Had some really nice deny stuns already. But when it comes to them killing a Nubrag, she needs to be a bit quicker with it. Now, the fall at the bot lane has been eliminated by now. We have Epicenter on the Nubarak too, and that 16 power spike is of course fantastic for him. That's great for Spain because they can now try and really get that backline damage in after a stun. ETC hasn't found another mosh pit yet. He's sliding in now, and once again with a silence, Blaze is dead. They're trying to get more, and there's the cocoon as Kuroneko is trying to get away from this one. Great setup here again with another quick kill for Italy, but on the macro end, they are behind. They've lost the keep topside, but they get another kill. 9 kills against 7. It's a really cool game, actually. Yes, there are mistakes on both sides. No, I mean, I'm really not questioning that, but still. It is a really nice one. Silence attempt. Here comes the taunt. They're trying to go for Stukov, and he is down. The Admiral Gonzalez is down. Finally defeated, and the camp is stolen. So yeah, the aggression coming from Italy is something that Spain is having some trouble to deal with. Especially the problem on Blaze. I mean, again, we highlighted it before. 6 deaths against him now. They identified him as the weak point, and they are locking him down quite nicely. He has huge troubles getting the bunker out whenever he's engaged upon, and he's just a little bit too far out. Needs to wait a bit longer. But yeah, that's the way that the Italians are playing it right now, and they're doing it well. They take a fort at the top lane. That's already a big relief for them. The bot lane is the one that the next shrine is going to spawn on, so they have to be careful there, especially since there's still a fort and also a fountain in play for Spain. But another wraparound attempt. They want to go for Hanzo, and they're going to get Hanzo. If the taunt comes through, slide, and he is deleted. And Nubarak is there as well. He's trying to move away, should be able to escape, turns around, gets the stun in, safe for now, but still another snipe against the hero. 11 kills now against 7. And that macro advantage that you have doesn't really help you in the long run if you are not able to win the late game. And in the late game, Italy looks incredibly well set up. They're doing so well with this one right now. And this is the 30-second window that they have before Hanzo is there. Now, of course, he can use the arrow once he spawns. But let's say if he plays it out. They're trapping. Okay. For a second, I was like, guys, don't waste time here. Don't really want to do that. You want to use the advantage while you have the 5 versus 4. Now they're doing exactly that. Again, the anchor play at the side from the tank. Just making sure that nobody moves in. Having Ragnar on his Varian trying to shield against the top. And this should be an easy grab for them. In the meantime, though, pressure through the middle. So the rotation towards that push is already started. And, yep, just showing. Not really doing too much yet. Have to be careful of Anubarok, of course. There's an engage that can be forced. 33 points now towards the objective. Level 20 talents play another big role. You want to make sure that your opponent doesn't hit those before you do. But here comes, at least when you're pushing with the Punisher, right? Like, you want to make sure that you're still on eye level here. There's enough waves on the lane that you can get, but Blaze is now topside, and he wants to get the Storm Talents for them. Punisher moving in. ETC and Varian not there just yet, so they're not following up on the stuns, but they're definitely going to go for the structure. And this one is going to fall. And they nearly have 20, both of them. And 20 is, again, going to be an interesting one, especially with ETC. Curious to see what we're going to get from him. That could definitely be a bit of a game changer. Already, the jump in. Trying to follow up with a stun. Okay, Tyrande doesn't hit that. 20 is there for both teams by now. And quick picks happening immediately. Varian, yeah, they're not going to go too deep on this one. They get a fort. They get a fort out of the late game Punisher. It was a bit of a weird moment. He didn't have 20 yet. Still destroying a couple of structures. Would like for them to take the fountain down eventually. But right now, taking that battle is probably not the smartest choice here. The rewind for Nubarak is offering a lot more CC for the team in blue. So Spain has that going for them. And they have a lot of really cool tools here. We're looking at the quest stacks, and we're also looking a little bit at the extra output in terms of talents. We're having Jimmy right now with a weak spot acquired. So a little bit of armor reduction that we're seeing on this part. That alone is already going to be good. We're having also the demoralizing shout taken. So it's really a lot of the heal reduction, armor reduction, trying to make the opponent a little bit more vulnerable, getting the damage in. Bullseye has been taken. We have burn notice actually. Push comes to shove. Another interesting one here. And I'm really curious to see the engage happen for last one. Quest completion, by the way, 16 for Tyrande. Not too bad. 31 stacks only on Reyna. One of the main reasons why I really prefer him with Fight or Flight. I think it offers more to you in general. But now, top lane is gonna be a little bit mitigated, like the push power at least that we're seeing from Spain through the camp that has been taken here. But both of them are just like shying around. They're trying to sharking around and trying to get something done in terms of maybe coming in from a flank and getting a quick kill against someone. But outside of that setup, both are a little bit hesitant to really go into a 5 versus 5 fight. They're more so waiting towards the objective when they're going to get a lot of value out of it. When it comes to the damage output, Ophia is still hitting the numbers for Italy. Spain mainly relying here on Hanzo with a lot of the poke damage, but don't forget about Jaina and the burst that comes from her. There's the taunt, and there's the kill. Hanzo too far out, and immediately another kill against him. The silent comes in though. Mosh pit attempt immediately interrupted, goes on full cooldown, and ETC is about to fall, but Stukov has died already. And ETC kept alive by Tyrande. They get another stun in, they go for Blaze, he drops the bunker, the side doesn't come through, but he's still falling. The taunt is there, and now a backline counter kill attempt that finally works out, but it's still a 3-for-1 trade, and Mara isn't out of this just yet. The stuns are there, she has no chance of moving away, and that's a 4-for-1, and Italy is starting to really put the damage through. 15 kills against 8. They're looking great here. They had massive problems in the early mid game, but now all of a sudden they are not only with 15 kills to 8 way ahead, they also have a chance to go for another objective. The shrine is spawning at the top, 4 heroes down. They go through the wall, prepping for the next Punisher. Italy is definitely running the show right now. Very difficult. Hanzo was taken out way too early. For a long time they were looking for a kill, they couldn't find it, but then they find the flank against Hanzo. He doesn't react quickly enough. And to be fair, it shouldn't quite happen. You should always check these areas. Hanzo has the vision tool, so he should have used that. But again, you go up against a taunt, against massive stuns on that end. So once you're locked down there, it's a problem. Spain needs to be the ones to initiate an attack. Dive in deep, hit the epicenter, get a cocoon out real quickly, maybe against ETC, deny a few of the stuns and the CC on your opponent's end, and then get a kill yourself with Blaze hitting a jet propulsion. And at this point, it's just not happening. So now we have 30 stacks already acquired towards the 40. They're gonna get this Punisher, and this is going to be an Arcane Punisher. So the game plan for Spain has simply to be save the core. You are going to lose that keep very likely. There's basically no chance for you to save it, but try and either force a fight behind the Punisher or at least save the core. There will be an equilibrium on the top lane because we have one keep already eliminated early on, but the advantage that Spain fought for really hard throughout the game is gone. That will be gone for sure. So for now, the Punisher is going to move in, and this is really the moment when Italy is going to look and close out the game. Can they drop it? All ults are ready right now as we speak. Punisher is getting baited. They're pushing it down as quickly as they can, but the Keep is already losing hit points, and they're dancing around it. Italy is trying to get the stutter step in there, but yep, another quick bait into the middle for the Punisher. The Keep is gone. Punisher is going to fall shortly, and Italy knows it's going to be risky to go for Keep. They're trying to see if someone steps out, and Mara is a little bit far out here for my liking, but not far enough that there would be the fuck? Hanzo gets eliminated by the sentry. Oh, dude, that is bad. That should not have happened. That didn't even cross my mind that would be a possibility. The Punisher nearly takes down Hanzo. He moves away, jumps into the sentry, and dies. Oh, that's a problem. Yeah, that should not have been a thing. Wow. I mean, there is no punishment for it if you think about it. The push was defended. There's nothing really that you can fight over at this point, but it's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. And you give the map control to your opponent who now takes the camps. So that was a little bit tricky there. Up to that point, they played that Punisher perfectly. Baited into the middle all the time. Made sure that there was not even a chance for Italy to go for the core. So it was well done by Spain. But, whew, baby. You can redeem yourself, Hanzo, though. I have good news. Good arrow. A couple of kills. Just from you initiating, and you're going to redeem yourself. But Hanzo had now 2 bad moments in a row. Puts pressure on you. We'll see how he can handle that. Is he going to be able to just shrug it off and say, it's going to be fine? Or not? 16 kills against 8. One more Punisher can end the game, though. Bottom Punisher this time. But yeah, massive defense mode now for them. Gonna try and play it here. So, let's see. Look at the map and the camps. Everything taken by Italy. And they're trying to actually time this with the objective. That's what they're currently trying to do. Even sending out an owl bottom right to see if there's maybe an attempt to go for a snipe, if there's maybe like a trap set up somewhere here. Really playing the safe. Both of the tanks currently trying to like set this up. And keep in mind what the blue team sees. Blue team sees this is open. But they are not stupid enough to think, well, let's just walk in there. They know this is very likely going to be a trap. They know this is going to be tricky. And the red team, Italy, they are playing a lot with vision. I really like this. The entire time they're moving out, there is no... Like, Spain has no clue where they are. Well, they can, of course, assume that they are close to the camp, and why wouldn't they? But outside of that, there's very little. Now, the entire Spanish team showed at the bottom of the map. This is the only reason why Italy just moved in without even checking any of the bushes, because they had vision already. This is the big one. 26 minutes in, this is the one that really matters. And yeah, camp and camp are taken. So top lane, no advantage to either team. Catapults for both. Through the waves. Camp pushes in. It's this one that really matters. This is the big one. Very, very likely going to be the final fight of the game, depending on how it goes. Stuns again. And Nuburak gets absolutely wrecked. The cockroach gets stomped within a second. Face checks in. A little bit too late. And then it's just a full CC train and the damage on him. Absolutely no chance for him. None whatsoever. He couldn't rewind. He couldn't burrow charge out. He couldn't do anything. He just gets shit on. And that's the end of him. With a Nuburak down, that's a disaster at this point. And the only thing that they can do is they're saying, guys, let's push. Let's force them away from this. Show top lane, push. Try and buy some time. Try and buy time for Nuburak to come back. They're hoping that it's not taken. But if the fight starts here... Well, ETC is a bit far out. Here comes Varian, though. Looks for the flank. Looks for the kill. And they get it. Jaina is down. You can silence all day long. But that's the end for him. And it's not only that. Jojo guns in. And solo kill for her. B-step to the face as Italy takes another kill. Hanzo is down again. And this is tough times happening now. 2 more. And another Punisher goes in. Up to the top. They're still chasing them a little bit. Shouldn't go too far out. Reyna actually even moving back to take the camp here. But Nuburak is back to business. Cocoon could force a fight. Cocoon could force a fight. How much do they want it? Not enough. Not enough. Mortar Punisher is taken. Varian is still there. Here comes the taunt. They go for the slide. Mosh Pit is not up. Can't use that here. But can still slide in, get a bit of damage. And Uberak with the epicenter gets the connect against Drainer in the back line. But now we have Tyrande back. She gets the stun. And Uberak is immediately in trouble. Good jet propulsion from Blaze, moving away from this one. Punisher is now down to the bottom of the map, already starting to push in. Blaze even going for the bunker, trying to play this super safe. And he gets taunted and goes down. Tries to block with a bunker, trying to play it extremely safe. That didn't quite work out. Bot lane is currently being baited. Punisher is getting baited in, trying to defend it somehow. They might be able to defend the core. They might actually be able to pull that off. Are they going to go for the keep? They don't have to. One keep is already down. They're trying. They're trying to go for the keep. Can they defend this? With a little bit of luck. One kill though. Yeah, Stukov is down without the silence. I just don't see a chance. Yes, the arrow is good and the cocoon comes out. Ice block as well, but Uberak dies and that should be the win. And again, Orphea is down. It is no... Oh, yeah, Jaina dying now too. And Hanzo barely jumping away. The core is falling. This isn't looking all too pretty. Spain going down in game number 1 against Italy, as Italy claims the lead in the series. Finish it off with another kill against Hanzo. 24 against 9. And that is the lead in the best of 3 for Italy at the Nexus contest. GG and well played. Game number 2, everybody. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map, as we have Italy in the lead against Spain. Playing actually a really good game 1. It was a pretty back and forth. I feel like Spain fell apart a little bit towards the end, but I actually believe that if they get a good map and maybe are going to start into it, they could make this happen right now and maybe bring us a third game. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the choice, so in terms of bans, I would definitely expect Genji to be banned out again, considering how much value he gets on Tomb of the Spider Queen with the quick rotations between the lanes and work through that. Tanks, another thing to always highlight here. Diablo gets a lot from his Devil's Due alone, so Garrosh first of all being banned out. Diablo maybe banned out, if not I would expect a pick. Maiev already banned, and I kind of feel like that leaves us with, first of all, Genji that has to be banned, and I would still assume that we're going to look at least a little bit of Diablo. Also, keep in mind, we are still seeing a potential early Tyrande here. We have seen her in first pick position now for 3 games in a row at the Nexus contest, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. And there's the ban on Diablo, as more or less expected. I would say that now you're pretty much forced to ban out Genji. And instead they banned Tyrande, they let Genji open, so there is the option for a Genji pick on Tomb of the Spider Queen, where it allows you really quick rotations onto the lane, and allows you to get those kills in. So, alright, let's see. Are we gonna get that Genji commitment early on, or are we gonna have a different first pick? But I would be shocked if Genji doesn't make it into the game. At the latest in the next ban round, he should be taken out. And they actually go for Jaina first. They wanna have that burst damage in. Again, that they used in the last game already. Now, personally, I'm a huge fan of them playing a little bit more with Ring of Frost. I really feel going into the water elemental the way they did, that we've seen from a lot of the teams, is a little bit weird. It's not so that water elemental can't give you anything, it's just like, if you already try to go for one of these one-shot combinations, then having, after the CC chain, a Ring of Frost as well, or stacked on top of it, just gives you more. Now, Uberak, Malfurion, Jaina, still no Genji. Nobody trying to go for that. What are we gonna have for Spain? They want a setup for Jaina, right? They could go into Stukov again. Stukov works quite well here, and I actually like the Stukov play on the first map. So potentially Stukov, Stitches, okay. And Jimmy. Alright. Different style. Stukov is still a valuable option. Genji has not been chosen yet, could be banned out. I could even see a ban on Stukov, to be fair. I mean, there are other supports out there too that give value to them. But if you have a hook, you want usually something to lock the target down. And that could be Stukov. White main banned out. Are they worried about Genji? And Uberak for the dive. You want, again, as I said before, you want to have an offlaner to mitigate some of the weaknesses that you have on him. Zeratul banned by them. Now again, Zeratul is great on the map, but I didn't really think that that setup would necessarily cater towards the Zeratul style. So, let's see. Italy, Urel, Blaze, both open. Both good for the setup. Both help Anubarak. Li Ming, first of all, taken. So can't be taken against Anubarak. But then again, they would probably not have done that, since that would mean that Spain would have to go into a triple backline, which is very rare for very good reasons. Li Ming and Tracer. No offlaner yet. They play the offlaner reactionary, and I feel that's a little bit surprising. I think maybe they are trying to hide something slightly, because if you already have that set up, then your opponent doesn't have an offlaner either, so apparently they're fine with whatever pick they get here. But we have a Leoric taken together with Stitches, and there's the Stukov pick. Okay, didn't have to go for it earlier. Malfurion was already claimed. I would have banned out Stukov, gonna be honest. White main is also a good ban, but I think they plan to go for Stukov from the get-go. So I think that was the plan here. Blaze Urel, those are the two. It's a Thrall. More poke, more damage. Not quite as sustainable as the Anubarak choice would have been. But alright, let's try and set this up. We're having the burst damage again on the side of Spain. Can they this time get the kills that they really need? Anubarak also a little bit alone here at the front. Maybe they can abuse that. But then again, ETC play was great in the last game. Can he do the same with Anubarak? Gonna find out. Game number 2. On Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 2, everybody! Spain versus Italy. Italy in the lead in the best-of-3 series here at the Nexus contest. And to the left side, Spain starting with Kuroneko on Stitches, Darket on Leoric, Ryudem on Stukov, Mara on Jaina, and Dark on Reyna. To the right side, we see the Italians with Sesk on Malfurion, Fury on Tracer, Ragnar on Thrall, we are on Anubarak, doing really well on this ETC in the last game. And Jojo on Li Ming, going for power hungry. Straight for the regeneration globes, which makes a lot of sense, of course, in the game here. We're also having Stitches, by the way, with a patchwork creation. And Echo of Elements for Thrall, making a lot of sense here for him. Also a little bit of a pause. Allows us to look at the setup here for the two teams just a bit. Now again, when we're talking about talents in particular, the one thing that I want to, with the meta, point out is that we're having, for example, for Leoric these days, again, Consume Vitality being played quite a bit. Austin's Renewal popped up heavily after we've seen the Eastern Clash in Korea at the end of 2018. Was very much so played then in Europe too, but it's between the two talents, Austin's Renewal and Consume Vitality, they're going for here. The Lurking Arm focus from Stukov. I'm really liking the setup that we had from Stukov in the last game, and he did a lot to zone down opponents. And if you're actually looking at the map, there's a lot of spots where you can, with a good Lurking Arm, really just control choke points. And this is going to be very crucial. Now, one of the ideas of playing Stukov in this setup is obviously that Stitches wants to hit the hook, and in an ideal world, you have a stun afterwards. So you have, for example, Turana that can land a quick stun here. You have a Malfurion that can place the roots down. But if Stukov can at least get the silence in, it's going to be great. And after a virulent reaction on level 13, you have the chance to lock the target down even a little bit more. When it comes to 5 versus 5 fights in later stages of the game, there's also the option to go into an Entomb afterwards and play around that. Like, a lot of it is really designed to give Jaina an opportunity to get some kill potential, and Jimmy as well. So I think one of the problems is that Jaina is actually not here. Reported for AFK right away. Mara is not with us, and therefore the blue team realizing, wait a second, we're kind of short one. I'm not quite sure what happened here. But yeah, so I guess that's the reason why we're having that quick break. And I hope, of course, that we're going to see her back in a second. And we're going to go straight back into the game. And we're back, everybody. And apparently this is going to be a 4 versus 5 as it happens. So the game is started. And unfortunately, to give you guys up... No way! You gotta be shitting me! What? What? Alright, so for everybody who's just watching the VOD right now, I cut out the pause, but we waited the entire 10-minute break that you are allowed as a team to have someone AFK. And in the meantime, there was a discussion if maybe Spain could just restart the game with a substitution player for Mara, because they didn't know what happened. Mara just left. And then Italy was talking about it and saying like, well, we don't really have a lot of time right now, and a couple of our players have to go soon, so yeah, we don't want to make a replay. So after 10 minutes, the admin just says, okay, 10 minutes are over, we're starting the game now, you can play with a bot. And the second we restart, like literally without saying anything publicly, all of a sudden, Mara is back. You got to be kidding me. Unbelievable. Like, we don't know what really happened there. I'm gonna find out later. But that is insane. Full baited. Full baited. I was already getting a little bit like, I don't want to say angry, but a little bit disappointed. I actually thought that just restarting with a sub was a great idea. They offered after 5 minutes, but Italy didn't really want that. I mean, come on, guys. You're here for a tournament. That's the best of 3 series. I'm sure you can make that time. Either way, we're happy. We're in the game. It's all good. All good in the hood. And now we have our first attack onto Stitches. And Stitches gets the Devour through and is able to walk out. The hook against Malfurion on the other hand. Italy needs to be careful. They're on the lead. For sure. But they haven't won the series yet. And as I said a couple of times already, we had some really good moments. Oh, I'm not so sure about that move, Leoric. He survives. But he could have played that a little bit differently and survived a little bit with more hit points. But what I really wanted to say is, like, the last game was kind of close. I mean, yes, at the end of the game, it kind of was taken away a bit from Spain and they didn't really get a foothold in it anymore and lost a lot of the heroes. But then at the same time, if you're looking at how the mid-game went, Spain had several opportunities to maybe get a lead significant enough to get the victory there. So Italy isn't out of this just yet, out of this best of 3, I mean. So yeah, the Nexus contest, there's a good chance that we're going to see maybe even a third game. It depends a lot on Spain, and their composition isn't too bad. Leoric, by the way, with a ghastly reach on level 4, not going for Neil Peasants on Tomb of the Spire Queen. That's an interesting choice to make. Didn't really see that coming, to be absolutely honest. So, just trying to get the extra damage in here. Talking damage, boom! Leorki value acquired, and that's always bad. The solo laner falling, that's always a bad thing because you are losing the gems. There's no one there to pick those up for you, and that is definitely a great start for Italy right now. That was a fantastic kill. Tracer already with value, gets the bomb through, Leoric down. Yes, he's back soon, you don't lose a lot of experience, but you lose the gems. And when it comes to gems, there's already the turn-in that we are having from Italy. They're doing very, very well with this so far. Echo of Elements on level 1, Domination now on 4 for Li Ming. Thrall, as I said, with Mana Tide. And even going for the camp down at the bottom of the map. Takes a little bit if you're a Tracer, but they're still starting to simply commit it. And apparently, Leoric doesn't really see it coming, so he didn't go for that yet either. 31 gems already turned in, and enough in their hands to get the first objective if they really want it. So they could definitely make that play now. And talking about making that play, Ragnar gets the turn in, completes it, and that's the first Web Weaver wave, just as level 7 comes into play for them. Full Carapace build, by the way, for Anubarak here. Not going into Underking, not going into the Subterranean Shield either. Makes him a little bit more squishy on the engage. I mean, again, he gets quite a bit of the Carapace out of it, so that's already good, but it's no, it can be a bit of an issue for him for sure. Talking about issues, yeah, Stitches has one too, and that's called Anubarak plus Tracer, but that bad boy is pretty tanky and survives through all of that. We still have those Web Weavers in the game though, and that makes it quite difficult for the blue team to get those defenses going. Top lane is going to be in trouble pretty soon, mid lane is already being attacked, the small wall is opened up, gate done, and they're going to get some turrets from this as well. They're actually starting to really open this up. Italy is just going all in on this at this point. Doing fairly well with it. In terms of talents, we have now also Hopelessness, so the drain range increase. Top lane heavily attacked, nearly Echo of Elements completed. So going to be another big one. Bit of a battle that we're seeing right there. Trying to make sure that... Oh, maybe even? Nah, not quite. Anubarak goes back up and Jaina is all of a sudden low and she is down. Didn't really see a lot of that coming. And they are just getting all out attacked here, everywhere. So Kaitina's plating taken, Shed Exoskeleton. Calamity now on level 7, and yeah, really strong start into the game from Italy. The 2 kills definitely working out for them. Taking the fort at the top lane is fantastic. Opening the middle up, another huge advantage. Taking some of the gems of their opponent away. So they're looking powerful here. They're looking really powerful. We have still down to the bottom of the map Ragnar with his Thrall completing the Echo of Elements. He's a bit late on it. I mean, normally you want to do it between I mean, around 4 minutes, plus minus 30 seconds. But having 6-minute Echo of Elements completed isn't really too bad either, and it doesn't really play a big role for them right now. But now that means, of course, that he has the double charge, which is going to be fantastic. Once that you have your Thunderstorm on level 16, if you don't decide to go into the Alpha Wolf, let's face it, could go that against Stitches, but if you just go for the poke, that also adds a lot, since you can just poke them down the entire day. And they are already starting to get that damage in here in the middle, but they have to be careful. The Bruiser Camp offers the spell aura, so you don't really want to fight underneath it. You want to poke from a distance against it. Tracer dancing around them. Kureneko is actually still trying to see if he can maybe land even a hook here. Nubra gets zoned away. They're really going for Tracer now as she comes in again. Not even with the Ghastly Reach does the swing land though. And Nubra is still there, moves out, tries to spawn a Beetle to interrupt that. Hook misses him, nice dodge on his side. And between all of this, we have Thrall escorting an entire camp down to the bottom of the map. And that's of course problematic, because that's not only gems lost, that is also the fort being attacked. And Leoric falls, he goes down, Stitches is already wet, down goes Reyna. Damn, Italy really doesn't have any time. They weren't kidding when they were saying some of our people have to go soon. They are trying to rush this. 3 kills, that's 5 against 0. The level 10 ability is coming massively through for them in this fight. Once that they had their heroic abilities, they immediately started to attack. Down at the bottom of the map, all those gems were lost, all that experience was lost. It's a massive, massive lead for them right now. Tracer just doesn't give a shit. She moves straight through the vision range of Leoric and says, yeah, I'm gonna take this. What? Okay, like, I'm really interested how this is gonna go now, but that was a little bit insane. She really doesn't care. It's right in front of him. Right in front of him. She moves through and is like, nope, that's fine. Alright. Tracer's gonna fall. No, doesn't get the move in before that. They even get the camp. Oh my god, I think they could have taken Tracer out here. They at least get the kill against Thrall. But what a weird move. The camp is taken, Thrall is down, the Web Weavers are coming in again. That is Web Weaver wave number 2 for them. And they already have 2 forts eliminated. They're going to try and get the 3rd one here. And Nubarak again with the engage. And wow, Mara on her Jaina is way too far out. Way too far. Completely in front of everything, out of position there, and gets just blown to pieces. Li Ming says thank you very much for the setup and just takes him down. And there comes another kill. Good move from Tracer against Stukov here, and look at this, they're just chasing him down. Oh my, like, you don't have to beat them anymore, guys. They're dead already. They're trying to go for the 5-man here even, but Stitches walks away. Or does he? Everyone else is already dead. He's the only survivor. And now we're having every fort diminished. Top lane, the keep itself is getting damaged. We're having only Jaina's trying to defend here. Everybody else is still at the bottom of the map. A little bit of defense going on in the middle. 9 kills against 1. But yeah, Spain really, really wants to finish this. Sorry, Italy. I guess Spain too, depending on how you look at it. But I guess they still want to win. Italy is very much so going in for this one right now. And it looks like we're going to see it. Yeah. Pre-10-minute keep. Keep is down. 9 minutes, 50 seconds into the game. And every single fort is eliminated. They have a 3-level lead right now. And they're taking down the fountain here. Jaina falls. They're ganking Thrall top lane with 4. And Jaina still dies. Wow. That game shifted very, very, very quickly. Leoric even going into the March of the Black King, not even going into the Entomb, which I originally thought he would try and get. Especially, of course, with the option to go into Buried Alive on level 20. But what an absolute shutdown here. 10 kills against 2. And then the keep down at the bot lane. And I mean, bot lane keep is one of the biggest problems you can have on this map. Because the boss is situated at the top lane. So if you ever end up in a scenario where both teams are dancing around the boss, trying to see if they can maybe go in and grab it, the bot lane is going to push over and over again with the catapults. Which means that then Spain, the blue team, would have to move a hero down to the bottom of the map to de-push it and not take core damage, and that can lead to an immediate attack topside where you have a 4 versus 5 going against you. I'm not sure if it's even going to play a role, because to be honest with you, I don't think we're going to end up in that scenario, but just sufficient to say that having the bot lane opened up this way is a massive, massive problem for you, because it really adds up, or it adds another element of a macro disadvantage to your setup that can be abused. Nice flank with the Sunder. Jaina isolated, taken down, Cocoon already on Stitches. They're trying to get another quick kill here against Jimmy. That might not quite work out, but it would surprise me. Yeah, to get the kill against Jimmy. It would still surprise me if he gets away. And with he, I mean Stitches, and that's 27 gems eliminated now. We have another Web Weaver wave coming through. It's the blue team, actually. They're going to try and de-push the lanes a bit, but that ain't working. 16 against 13, 27 additional gems lost, and that's another potential kill that we're seeing against Leoric. He's already incredibly low. Stukov is trying to stem the tide here a little bit and just stop this absolute disaster from happening, but another keep is being attacked. Leoric is eating the damage as we speak, and I mean, they will still have to rotate to deal with the Web Weavers, but that's of course a wave that doesn't do anything. I mean, just look at those structures. The wall hasn't really taken any damage. You go into the middle, it's pretty much the same picture. Go farther down, not a single turret has fallen. That's what we're currently seeing in this game. Not a single turret. 16, that's a boss call right there. An easy one at that. 13 kills against 2, 2 levels ahead, make it 3. Talent advantage. Can't argue with that. Mirror Ball on 16 right now for Thrall, the Thunderstorm, so you can play around that too. Nubarak easily moving away from this. Yeah, Hook is just not long enough for that. And that's a boss. And they can turn in too. If they want to turn in, nothing that you can do to prevent that. Unless you want to really force a 5 versus 5 fight with that big of a disadvantage. It's not even only the talent. I mean, the talent is one aspect, don't get me wrong, but if you're 3 levels behind, that's a stat advantage that actually matters. That makes an actual difference. So, right now, this should be the... Oh my god, if they kill Leo now too, and they do... Oh, do they? Yeah, of course they do. That is at least a keep. Should be more. Should be game. But it's at least going to be a keep. With the Web Weavers coming through, I don't... Oh, the Sundering again! Absolute shutdown. Jaina has no chance. She falls immediately, and Stukov is dead too. There's a quick kill against Stitches. And yeah, that is an open core, an open invitation to end the game here. And that's of course what's going to happen. Italy takes down Spain with a very impressive second game. Already looking good in game number 1, especially the front line. ETC and a Nubarak play from Booyah were very, very powerful here. And they make it happen. Italy with 18 kills against 2 take the game on Tomb of the Spider Queen. They make it a 2-0 victory here at the Nexus contest and take down Spain in their first group match. Congratulations.